Shalawama, Shalawama. I am Dr. Dryasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. Welcome. This is Astrotheology. This is live stream number 79. Live stream number 79. Today we're going to cover the chapter on the Redeemer. This is the chapter on the Redeemer. Live stream number 79. Welcome to all of those, first and foremost, who have been coming to these live streams for the past 79 days. That's right, 79 live streams, 79 days of live streaming. So I want to say a special welcome to all of you. You are to be congratulated and commended, etc., for having that much discipline and commitment to your return to the Most High and learning and reinforcing, mastering wherever you're at this information. And also welcome to those who are new and those who've been coming and maybe you haven't made all of them, but a special welcome to you also. I'm Dr. Dryasapa from Zion Law School. We are going to cover the chapter in the book titled The Devil's Pulpit. We are on the chapter called The Redeemer, and the theme scripture is Job chapter 19, verse 25. All right, Job chapter 19, verse 25. So call somebody, text somebody, let them know we're here. A call is always more powerful and more warm than a text message. Okay, young people don't seem to realize that, but it is. It is. Call and let people know we're about to begin. Okay. So why is astrotheology important? Because astrotheology is all around you. Astrotheology is all around you. Just take a look at any type of Christian art. Take a look at Christian Bibles. According to the author, if you have a Bible and it has animals in it, especially with the Gospels, the beasts that we covered in the last chapter, the lion, the eagle, the man or the angels, remember that, etc., etc. Those have representations or meanings, and they are astronomical in nature. All right, they have an astronomical equivalent meaning. Okay, so I'm almost done getting the settings ready. Y'all see I got a lot faster, right? I got a lot faster. So let's give it a second for these things to load up and we'll get started. All right, we will get started. Okay, so this is the last chapter. And then after this chapter, we're going to start doing our debriefing, okay? By debriefing, what I mean is that we're going to do call-in shows. So I'm going to depend on you all to call in. Without your call-ins, without your calls, we don't have a debriefing show. All right. So I know we're still, new, just getting this YouTube channel going. So we still don't have a lot of viewers, but we're getting there, right? We'll get there one way or another. We'll get there. And I do appreciate everybody who has been coming. All right. I do appreciate that. So, by the way, help me get to 1,000. Something happens from, like, I've been talking to tech people here. I'm in India, and happened to meet a lot of technology people. And from what I'm told, it appears to me that 1,000 is like a magic number or something. Okay. 1,000 subscribers is like a magic number. So when you get to 1,000, it's much easier to get to 2,000. That kind of makes sense to me though, right? That kind of makes sense to me, that it would be like that. But anyway, talk to your friends and family. I'm absolutely certain that my YouTube channel has been shadow banned or whatever it's called. So we have to let people know ourselves that we're here, okay? I can't. If you're with me, if you're riding with me, help me. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're riding with me, if you like the content that I produce, if you like my personality, if you want more of your heritage and less of taking from Jewish people, or let me say the Jewish religions, writings, Christianity, if you want less of that and more of our stuff, then walk with me. Walk with me, talk with me, do the things that are going to help get our message across, okay? That are going to help get our message across. And from our point of view, all right? Books that are written, Bible verses that are translated by me, that means from our point of view, and not somebody else's, right? Who doesn't like us? That's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing. But anyway, the chapter today is the Redeemer, okay? And this is going to give us some insight into the way these religious organizations work when you start talking about things that they do not want you talking about, all right? Some of the dirty things that they'll do to you, that they did to the author, to shut him up, but not only shut him up, to lock him up, to break him financially, and completely destroy his life, all right? So we're going to look at the character. We're going to look at the character of these religious people and how they express themselves, how they oppress others through the use of their organizations and their money. All right, so that's what we're going to do in this live stream. All right. So we're going to begin on page 331. We're going to begin on page 331. So for all of the new people, those of you who are new, the PDF to the Devil's Pulpit is in the description area of this video. Okay, y'all? It's in the description area of this video, and you can download it. It's free. All right. It's free. It's free. So download it. Take a moment right now to go in the description area of this video and download the PDF. Okay. Now you should have a printed copy of this PDF in your library. So take that PDF that you download and get it printed. All right. So you can have the physical copy in your library. Okay. You should have it. And you guys are looking at my screen. Is showing the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. So thank you. Thank you. It's going to be a life-changing experience for you. And you're also welcome. Oh, by the way, the 101, the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course There's no contract. You can cancel anytime, and it's only $10 per month. The content is priceless. All right. The content is priceless. So for those of you who have subscribed, thank you. Appreciate your support very much. And you are on a journey that is going to fundamentally change your life for the better. It's going to help you make it easier for you to be independent, an independent learner. It's putting you on the fast track to return to the Most High, but nothing replaces what? Your own character and the effort that you put in. You get in what you put out. Everybody's invited to come to our Saturday 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live class. That's every Saturday, 506 The Curses course, where we will demonstrate how to use the content that you'll learn in the Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. And we're dealing with Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, y'all, we're in the curses. And we're going to show you how to do what the author has done throughout this book, but we do it in greater detail. We dive deeper and we swim deeper. All right. So we'll see you. The link for the 101 and the 506, the Curses course, both are in the description area of this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our live stream presentation. Welcome to live stream number 79. This is the chapter on the Redeemer. The theme scripture is Job chapter 29, verse 25. Job chapter 29, verse 25. All right, y'all. So we are in business. We are in business. Okay, so let's make it do what it do. Call somebody, text somebody, everybody you know, and tell them that we are live doing our astrotheology presentation. All right, y'all? All right, do that for me. And we will begin right now. Oh, wait, let me check my live stream. I almost forgot. Let me check before we get started, y'all. Before I start talking and realize that we don't have a signal. All right, so give me 1 second, please. Give me 1 second, I'll be right with you. Let me check this out before we get started. All right, mic check, mic check. And we will begin. All right, so we're good, y'all. We're good. Okay, so let's go. Let's get with it. Here we go. All right, like and share the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Let me pull the PDF back up. All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Job 29:25 reads, quote, I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see capital G-O-D. Whom shall I see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another. That's Job chapter 29, verse 25. That's a strange scripture to me, y'all. That's a really, really strange scripture. You know why it's strange? Have you ever thought about this? It's strange because it says here, after my skin worms destroy my body, or destroy this body, then yet in my flesh shall I see capital G-O-D. So is he saying he's going to get a new flesh? Where is he going to see capital G-O-D? On earth or in heaven, right? That's strange, right? Very, very strange, if you know anything about the topic. Anyway, let's continue. Right. Oops. Let people know we're here, y'all. Call somebody, text somebody, like and share the video. Okay, so here we go. Quote, I know that my Redeemer liveth, saith the holy Job, and I know so too. Nor does there breathe on earth a man who hath higher respect for the text of his sacred passage, or a firmer conviction of the truth that it contains than he, whom professing Christians designate as the devil's chaplain. In other words, the religious leaders, these secret society members, they didn't like what the author was revealing to the public about astrotheology. All right, so they branded him the devil's chaplain, hence the name of the book, The Devil's Pulpit, right? So no religious stuff in there, no devils and demons and goblins. All right, let's continue. And whom the Society for the Suppression of Vice have branded as a wicked and evil disposed person. All right, so what is this telling us? The religious leaders organized themselves into a society for the suppression of vice. Y'all got that? The Society for the Suppression of Vice. Now, what purpose do y'all think that serves? Why would they organize themselves in such a society? What would you all think? Why would these religious leaders who were already organized in the secret societies like Freemasonry, all of the other ones, Knights Templars, etc., why would they organize themselves in the Society for the Suppression of Vice? What would be the purpose of that? What would be the purpose of that? Clearly, one of those reasons would be, one of those reasons would be to do what? Attack people who start saying things that the church members don't want to be said. Y'all see that? All right. In other words, they're going to have this society to put the fear in your heart to talk truth that they don't like. And then another one would be what? It would be to attack people who are doing something that they feel is against religion. So it provides them a platform to look like they're holier than thou, right? To look like they are your protectors, but in fact, they are your oppressors. So we're looking at the Society for the Suppression of Vice on YouTube. Oh, wow, look, New York Society for the Suppression of Vice. All right. So let's see what we can find. All right. So Society for the Suppression of Vice. Society you're in trouble if they come after you. You should know that, right? All right, so here it is. Uh-oh, how did that happen? Give me 1 second, y'all. How in the world did that happen? So let's go back to it. We'll read a little bit about it so we'll have some context on this, okay? All right, Society for Suppression of Vice. This is Wikipedia. This will do for now, all right? Again, the Society for Suppression of Vice was a 19th century English society dedicated to promoting public morality. It was established in 1802 based on a proclamation by George III. Y'all see that? George III in 1787. So who was this George III? Let's take a look. Who is this George III? Let's take a look. All right, George III was king. I don't want to read all of it. Let's try to find that caption again. All right. George III was king of Great Britain. So here we see, y'all, religious people or the government, the monarchy, getting involved in religion. Y'all see that? George III, king of Britain and Ireland. All right. So he is the one who started it. Let me go back. All right. So it was based on a proclamation by George III in 1787, and as a successor to the 18th century Society for the Reformation of Manners, and continued to function until 1885. All right, y'all, so you see what's happening here. They're using this for religion and state came together to create an institution that they can use to make religion look good, okay? And to accuse people of blasphemy who start telling the truth about religion, all right? In other words, the Reverend Robert Taylor got targeted, all right? People like him people like the Reverend Robert Taylor like to be in the public, they're going to come after you, while they themselves are what? In their secret societies, getting drunk all day, every day, and having orgies, as the author brought up. All right, see the hypocrisy? No such thing as separation of church and state. All right, okay, let's go back to it. So now we know what the Society for the Suppression of Vice is. Okay, now let's continue. What then is the cause of the difference between us? That means those religious leaders and the author. If I respect the scriptures as much as they do, that it is, they respect them because they know nothing about them. I respect them because I know all about them. They, like the devils, believe and tremble at them. They, like the devils, believe and tremble at the scriptures. I, like a rational man, understand and laugh at the scriptures. What then is the difference? Twist their faith and mine. What is the difference between their faith and mine? Theirs bid them lift their dagger to my throat. In other words, their faith says, exterminate this person who is revealing your secrets. Mine, my faith, doeth forgive the wrong and bids them hear me. Isn't that very interesting? These religious people, they want to take this guy out. That's completely against the faith that they profess, right? Forgive, don't exterminate people, but yet that's exactly, don't falsely accuse people, but yet that's exactly what they do. Don't go into the courts if you can avoid it, but this is exactly what they do. They have no regard, the author is saying, for their own professed gospels and belief system. But the author says he knows that the gospels are a fairy tale, but yet he still follows the principles. That's what the author is drawing our attention to. That's, at least from my point of view, that's what I hear him saying. Only hear me, and upon no other covenant than the challenge, strike, but hear me. And if they would only hear me, the fault should all be mine, if rather they strike at all. But what is he talking about strike? He's not talking about a physical strike. He's talking about strike back with evidence. Produce your evidence that the author is not telling the truth. Produce the evidence. Produce the evidence from scripture, from history, from etymology, so on and so forth. But that's not what they're doing. They want to take him to court and completely destroy his life through imprisonment and fines. In other words, through threat and intimidation, through violence. All right, let's continue. If they would only hear me, I have a magic that would unnerve the uplifted arm. I could put a spell upon them of power to tame the savage beast, to soften rocks, and bend the girdled oak or the guarded oak. I can't make out what that says here. The ink is smudged. All right. So he's referring to scripture, right? Let's continue. Of the thousands and tens of thousands who rail against me and persecute me by forbidding my friends, let me repeat that, by forbidding all friends of theirs to become friends of mine, the most cruel mode of persecution. How many are there? Whoever, how the author feels, I have been in situations like this before, where people just hate you because of what somebody else said about you. All right. In other words, they team up against you. And people will literally believe what other people say, no matter how ridiculous and extreme the accusations are against you. People will go with it. They'll hate you, even do nasty, rotten things to you, even though they never met you or never even had a conversation with you. Or even though they met you and they know it's all false, they know it's all lies, but they'll do it anyway, either to go along to get along or because they enjoy doing things that harm other people. They think it's a game because it's your life. But most importantly, from what I found in my experience, they think you're an easy target. I went through this when I was in Christianity. They think you're an easy target because you're trying to be Christ-like. You're not retaliating. All right. But let me say this. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And let me tell you this, when people know that you're not going to tolerate any BS, and when they come at you like that, you're going to come back at them 100 times harder. They either leave you alone or they're scared to do anything to you. But anyway, so what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? In my life, from my experience, all that Christian stuff made me an easy victim. In other words, it doesn't work in real life. That's my experience. Okay, that's my experience. You become the target. People know that there's no price to pay when they do something to you. All right. And in Christianity, you learn that if people see that you're peaceable and this, that, and the other, eventually you're gonna stop, right? Or maybe they're going to, or you're doing it because you're hoping that they're going to see how you're such a, Christ-like person, and they're gonna be moved by your self-discipline and all of this garbage. And maybe they're gonna become a Christian because of what they see in you, how much abuse you can take, right? But let me tell you, in my life, that hasn't worked. Okay, you just become an easy target, and people will target you, use you, steal from you, do the whole 9 yards, and you will be the one who carries that burden, emotional burden, in your body and in your relationships. But anyway, that's another story. That's my experience in life. But what's your experience in life with that? How has living these Christian principles worked out in y'all's life? How has it worked out in your life? Have you had success dealing with people? It would, I think a lot of that would depend on too, on the personality of the person, and laid back person. I'm a quiet, laid back person. Okay. Are you an achiever, or are you, I mean, where are you? Are you below average, above average? Are you an achiever at the extreme level of achievement? Where are you? That's really going to determine how much hate you get, right? The more of an achiever you are, and also profession, right? Um, the more likely you're going to run into these toxic personalities who want to destroy you just out of jealousy and envy. But anyway, let's go back to our PDF. All right. So this is going to be a short live stream, not more than 1 hour. All right, so let's continue. Of the thousands and tens of thousands who rail against me and persecute me, y'all see that? By forbidding all friends of theirs to become friends of mine. Isn't that elementary type of school stuff, y'all? Don't be friends with him. I can't stand him. You're not my friend anymore. But y'all know how it goes on the adult level, right? The most cruel mode of persecution, the author is saying to isolate somebody, destroy his or her reputation, is the most cruel form of persecution, right? How many are there who exchanged a single word with me, but yet you hate this man? Isn't that what they did to their Christ figure, right? The Jews did that to the Christ figure, right? They accused him, falsely accused him. You see the hypocrisy that the author is talking about. So let's continue. I have no enemy on earth who hears me. All I complain of is of being hated, because unknown, and uncondemned, because unheard. Y'all got that? I've been through this before. I've been through that before. Okay. And it was just jealousy in my case. Okay. Of the whole body of the society for the suppression of vice, whose subscriptions supply the fund, y'all see, that's where they get the money, which in the event of their success is to buy away my property, my good name, that's his reputation, my liberty, lock him up in jail, and all that is dear to a good man. How many are there who have once so much as heard me, or read my writings, or could with honor say that of their own knowledge, who could with honor say that of their own knowledge they knew me to be such a man as ought to be punished, as ought not to be allowed to enjoy his life and liberty? Not one of them serves, not one. So you can imagine, you know what you can equate this to, like in modern times. Like they'll, first of all, they brand us as being Black, right? And then they put all of this negative images and videos about us in mainstream media to totally destroy our reputation, make people think things that are not true about us, right? We're criminals, we're this, we're that. And before you know it, what happens? You can go overseas. I've experienced this. You can go overseas and the people are affected by what they saw on American TV. They think you're a criminal, they're afraid of you, they think all you know how to do is sing and dance. I had somebody when I was in the Philippines, they were doing some type of dancing stuff, right? It was some kind of celebration. I don't remember, we were in the hospital, right? This is a group of doctors and we were doing some type of celebration for something. And so they wanted like the doctors to get together and do some type of dance moves. So, you know, I'm not feeling that. It's not my culture, right? So I'm just there going with the flow. So this one doctor comes up to me and says, hey, why don't you take the lead in this, because you're the one who can really sing and dance. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking you're a really ignorant person. But y'all know, other times I've had experiences like uh, being in a hospital situation, or even especially when I was in school, y'all. People think because of the color of my skin, I'm stupid, right? And then when I come out being the one who had the highest score out of everybody, and I'm not boasting, I'm just telling you the truth, the fact, people from all different countries, all over Asia, Europe, and I come out on top with the highest scores, they're pissed off. Pissed off. Why? Not because it wasn't them, but because of what I represent in their eyes. But that's through the media. All right. But anyway, let's continue. And this, sirs, is what the Society for the Suppression of Vice, that is the bishops, archdeacons, reverend rectors, and vicars, right? Honorable capital LORDs and honorable baronets who constitute the society called justice. All right, so it looks like that's another society. They club together. They club together out of their enormous wealth to supply the fund, with which they buy up the testimony of the dirty thieves that will for money swear them anything. In other words, they're buying witnesses, right? They're buying witnesses to say whatever they want to say to make sure that the author, Robert Taylor, gets convicted. And pay the dirty counsel, all right? Pay the dirty counsel that will for money plead them anything to crush a solitary, unsupported individual whose only means of subsistence is his intellectual labor, whose only claim to distinction is his hard-earned learning, whose only riches is the good esteem which he hath earned in the judgment of all good men. All right, so in other words, these people are piling up on him. They're using money, right? Paying off witnesses, paying off the courts to convict this man. And he's saying he doesn't have a chance because he's just an average guy. I mean, he's an intellectual, but amongst the intellectuals, he's not rich. He's just average. So in other words, he can't compete with these people. Obviously, his congregation wasn't supporting him, right? Let's continue. And like the wolf that only wanted to play with the kid, if he would but come down from the shed and to tickle him under the throat a little bit, just no more than to make him squeak and to show him how far they are from anything like a vindictive spirit, and how entirely their gospel forbids anything like persecution for religious opinions. They will persuade the jury that they may be safely trusted with the power which an adverse verdict would give them, for capital God forbid, and far be it from them and all that rest on it, that they should seek any further object than the mere suppression of an intolerable nuance, and that the defendant, that's the Reverend Robert Taylor, be for mere form's sake fined 5 shillings by the court and discharged. They have no ill will against them. They have nothing of any opinion whatsoever. They are as far from a spirit of bigotry and intolerance as the sun's disk from darkness. So ain't no darkness, they're the sun, right? Let's continue. Till they choused and cheated jury, giving them credit for all these liberal professions and thinking that the punishment of so trifling a sentence, even if it should be exactly just to the defendant, less than the elves, will heedlessly and idly pronounce the fatal verdict that will bring the poor kid down from the sheltered shed. He's talking about the wolf that was trying to get the child to come down from the shed that he just talked about, the kid to come down from the shed, rather, that he just talked about in that analogy, to the proof of the sincerity of their wolfish pretensions. Then, when they shall have got the verdict, the guilty verdict, then, like the city sledgehammer, will they come down with vengeance. Then will the wolves show their teeth. The aspect of things will be altered. Then the mere 5-shilling fine, which might have been all the punishment which the jury had mediated, will be turned into forfeiture of 1,000. Looks like that's 1,000 lire, as part of the sentence passed upon him upon his conviction, 500 lire, of which must be taken out of the pockets of the best and dearest friends he ever had on earth, and so wound him through them. Wow, that's some dirty stuff. They still doing this kind of stuff today, yo. And what sort of wound that must be? I put it to the feelings of every man in this assembly who ever had such friends or was worthy to have them, to feel for him. Then too, it will be remembered that laws are of no avail if they are never to be put into execution. And the law expressly awards that the punishment for blasphemy upon a second conviction shall be transportation for life. Y'all got that? You see how cruel these people are? Transportation for life. The court, however, always tempering justice with mercy and yielding to the earnest solicitation of the prosecutors themselves, to whom the defendant ought to feel himself infinitely indebted, will insist on no more than the payment of the fine of the £1,000, okay, incurred upon the previous conviction, in which they know that it is absolutely impossible that it should be unpaid. So in other words, destroy him financially for life, put him in debt for life, and to be further in prison till even as long as they please. Why is that? Debtor's prison, hell, debtor's prison. In those days, if you had a debt and you didn't pay it, you go to prison. That's hell. And they'll hold you there. They can hold you until you pay it, right? So unlimited prison. In other words, you're gonna die in prison. You're gonna die in hell. Debtor's prison, hell. Y'all see how this works? All right. All of this is being done behind the scenes. Once the conviction is done, the public is not gonna know about this up front, right? That's what the author is saying. Go, Christian, go and smell the sweet and wholesome air of which capital G-O-D has given the free enjoyment of every living thing breathes, and then say, by capital G-O-D and his everlasting truth and mercy, who are the wicked and evil disposed persons? The Society for Suppression of Vice, who seek to deprive him of what the precious right, or the man of whom not a single member of that society can show that he ever did any wrong to any man. But the clergy, the patrons of this society, say of him, as their prototypes, the chief priests and Pharisees of the gospel said of Christ, he have spoken blasphemy. The most literal analogy to the type of the gospel, the chief priests, the clergy, and the church patrons of this prosecution society act from the back. They act from the back. They act from the background. They strike from behind the screen, not bringing the accusation directly in their own person, but hiring and suborning two false witnesses to report something that he had said, which they did not understand and did not wish to understand, and which, being reported without any notice of what was said before or after, or in the relevancy or to what end, might have the same appearance of strangeness and wildness as if he had said, quote, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will build it up again. Y'all see how they're acting? They act like cowards, right? These religious people who are bringing this against this man, they're cowards. They're doing it behind other people, behind the back, using other people as pawns to hide themselves, right? Why? Because they're cowards. They're afraid, all right? But they'll say they're intelligent. No, no, no. You're a coward. You're a coward. They'll say, no, 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 it's intelligent to not let people know what you're doing when you attack them. No, 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 no. That's cowardly. All right, that's cowardly. But anyway, let's continue. And his discourse, of which all men of science and learning who have ever heard them have ever acknowledged to be most truly learned and most demonstrative scientific, have served up to his persecutors in Lincoln's Inn, who handle them with just as much criticism and just as much ability and disposition to understand them might be expected for the diagrams of Euclid when submitted to the criticism of that most genuine house of capital L-O-R-D, capital L-O-R-D's, a pigsty. I have been engaged in enucleating the bright gems of science hid in the shell of religious allegory. And how did he reveal these bright gems of science? Through using etymology, primarily etymology, church father writings, architecture, the architecture of the cathedrals that were built, according to the author, by the Moors, and they were constructed to line up astronomically. All right, so these cathedrals were then converted. They got the religious people, the Christians got these magnificent structures through war, through conquest, and they converted them into cathedrals and churches, all right? And then what else? Through art, but and then mythological writings. But the key is etymology, etymology, all right? Etymology. That's how he revealed the gems. That's why I am strongly urging you guys, if you're House Yasharala, I'm urging you to subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibaryath. This is a streaming course, all right? Streaming course. I can't say it enough. You should subscribe to this 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. You can do what the author is doing and more. Come to our Saturday 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time class, which is live, it's online. The link for both of these classes are in the description area of this video. This is where your power and independence comes from, okay? This is gonna help you return to the Most High. If you think you've seen something dealing with these Gospels, wait until you come to our Saturday class and see what you see. Just wait until you come. All right, you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. Come to Saturday's class and watch what you see. All right, let's see. All right, y'all know I'm referencing Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. All right. Oh, let me check the chat. I forgot. Let me check the chat. And by the way, thank you for all of you guys in the chat who hold it down, who put those high quality comments in there. Much appreciated to all of you. Isaiah, Shalawama. Isaiah, right? Shalawama, Doc. I'm just getting in. Don't know how far you got in. I'm going to be watching from the beginning. Okay, excellent, 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 excellent. And by the way, scholars, be active in the comment section if you have questions or comments. Don't keep it to yourself. Write it in the comment section because it will actually help other people. Even though you might not think so, it really helps other people. And it also helps with the algorithm. All right, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Let me, while I'm here on this page, as a matter of fact, let me show this, okay? I'm gonna do some housekeeping before we go further. All right, so if you like the work that I do, I'm Dr. Dryasapa from Zion Law School. If you wanna support the work that I'm doing, I'm gonna put the my Cash App in the comments section, okay? But it's also in the description area of the video. My Cash App is $sign Dr. Dryasapa, $sign DRYASAP, $sign DRASAPA, or you can do it through PayPal. And our PayPal is paypal.me/Zion Law School. I also put that in the comments section. All right, so here is the 101 streaming Ancient Ibaryath course. Y'all have to get this. There's no more $1 for 1 day trial. That's over with. And if you're not already enrolled, soon the price is going to go up for the subscription. But if you're already subscribed, you don't have to worry about that. The price is not going to go up, but it's going to go up substantially. Okay. But if, like I said, if you're already enrolled, you don't have to worry about this price increase. Okay, so you can cancel anytime. It's right now is $10 a month. The market value of this course is $10,000. Compare at Hebrew schools, Hebrew universities, and even synagogues, and they're not going to teach you Ibaryath. They're going to teach you either modern Hebrew or biblical Hebrew, right? Go look at the prices. Go look at the prices and see how generous this is. This is almost free, y'all. I mean, you can't really get closer to free than $10 a month for a subscription to learn your own language. But anyway, here's a link. All right. This is 506 The Curses course. You can come twice for free, 2 classes for free. All right, that's at minimum. You'll come 2 classes for free. And you're going to learn a tremendous amount. I can guarantee you that these courses are life-changing. So here's a link for that. All right. And you'll see, if you scroll down further, you'll see our recommended book list. So if you want to support Zion Law School or me, Dr. Dryasapa, you can order any of our books on zionlawschool.org. And we list 7 right here. All right. We list 7 of the books right here. All right. So go check that out. Any support that you give, whether it be cash or purchasing our books, I greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate it. And here's the link to download the Devil's Pulpit. It's a free download. So go here and you can click on that link right there. All right. Now let's go back to the with the presentation. All right. So let me find my place. So where are we? Oh, all right. So the 506 Curses course on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is a life-changing experience. That, yeah, even though you've seen everything that the author has done here, you've seen nothing yet. And we're doing it in Deuteronomy chapter 28. But let's continue with the highlight. All right. The highlight reads, let's continue. The splendor of those illustrations began to flash into the dark caverns of priestly wickedness. The priestly wickedness. And the priest, purposely averting their eyes from the light, have set their dogs at me, as well knowing that though the light cannot be refuted, it may be extinguished. Y'all got that? They can't prove him wrong using any type of evidence, but they can lock him up for life. And what? Exterminate him in jail through what? Through hunger or disease. All right. Okay. All right. Though they cannot answer their opponent, in other words, they can't prove him a liar using evidence, they can destroy him. I return as well as I can to the business which the text more immediately propounds, in the illustration of which I hope to add another to the 1,000 proofs that the world possesses, that the persecution against me is really none other than the war of barbarous ignorance rather, and cruel fanaticism against the intelligent and virtue, okay? Against intelligence and virtue rather. Another effort, may it be the last, of priestly villainy to prevent the diffusion of knowledge. They want to keep y'all ignorant. They want to keep you wrapped up in a belief system as far away from science, especially the science of language, especially philology, etymology, especially church history, and to perpetuate the reign of superstition and madness among men. Y'all got that? Superstition is what? Believing things you don't understand. Believing things you don't understand. So I'm not going to talk anymore about that. Independently of the sublime astronomical science, veiled under allegory of a crucified Savior, the allegory discovers in innumerable episodes the underplots subordinate to the main design, an earnest effort on the part of the allegorist to attach a moral corollary to their gospel. But unfortunately, the moral of the story has ever been that part of which Christians in all ages have been, and let me repeat that. Let me start from that paragraph again. But unfortunately, the moral of the story has ever been that part of which the Christians in all ages have been, of all men in the world, least disposed to attend to. Y'all got that? In other words, the author is saying, yeah, they promote this morality stuff in the Gospels, but you look at the way they live, look at their history, and you'll see that they are the most immoral, most violent, most immoral people, these Christians. And you look at their lives in present time, they are in secret extremely immoral, hypocrites, all right? So that it is hardly to say whether the science of the gospel has been more above their understandings or its morals opposed to their conduct. In other words, he's saying they're hypocrites, all right? Instead of being people who are peaceable, they are violent, but they do it all, what? They do it all at the back, behind the back. They hire people to do their dirty work for them. Witnesses, pay off courts, etc., etc., etc. No sooner was believing the gross sense of the dead and deadly letter of the text of the New Testament substituted in the place of a critical and philosophical understanding of its spirit and intention, then a fierce and furious zeal for the gospel was allowed to supersede all necessity of obedience to its moral inference. And why are they saying that? Why are they doing it? It's always the same excuse, right? They're protecting their religious what? Their religious organization. They're doing it for allegedly the organization, their church. So they violate the principles of the gospels to what? Keep their church in control, keep their church in power, keep them wealthy. This is what the author is talking about. So, I mean, I have personal experiences, you know, where you've had to deal with these religious leaders, maybe in your walk. Maybe this was part of the reason that got you out of Christianity. I don't know. Put it in the comment section. All right. Put it in the comment section. What has been your experience? How did you get out of Christianity? How did you get out of Christianity? What happened? Did you start asking questions and they got mad? Right? They kicked you out or they asked you to leave. What happened? What happened? Anyway, so I'm Dr. Dryasapa from Zion Law School. We're going to wrap this live stream up right now. We will begin live stream number 80 tomorrow. Live stream number 80 is probably going to be our final live stream where we're reading from the Devil's Pulpit. We're on page 335. The book is only 341 pages. All right. We will begin our debriefing chapter by chapter the day after tomorrow. Okay. So before we go, I would like to invite everyone to order 911 Ibaryath Rescue, Ancient Phoenician, Paleo, Hebrew, the International Edition. Okay, so this book has the pictographs like the ABCs and their meanings. All right, this is to complement the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. Don't need it. It is all right, y'all. Don't know what happened, but it happened. The live stream was interrupted. Anyway, so let's continue. Let's continue with the live stream. We were interrupted. So I'm asking everybody to go out and get a copy of 911 Ancient All right, so yeah, we're back now. We're back now. All right, so go out and get a copy of 911 Ibaryath Rescue, the international edition. Okay, here's the link here. You can buy that one on Amazon. All the rest of these books, buy on our website, zionlawschool.org. Go to the product section or products in the menu, and you'll see a list of all of our books. So all the other books, buy on our website. So I've also been asking people to order Animals in the Bible. This is for children because it's so visual. The colors are so brilliant. It is also for adults, especially adult learners who are visual learners, right? This is an amazing book, y'all. And look at the price, it's almost free. All right, so go out and get this for yourself and for your little ones and even high school children. It's the Ibaryath names of the animals in the Bible, reclaiming our language. All right, this is reclaiming our language. So do you value our language? If you value what's ours, then you should be buying our books and watching our videos, because this is helping you to return. This is reclaiming your language. So in other words, if you ignore it, you don't have it because you didn't want it, right? Not because it was prevented, not because you couldn't get it or it was hidden from you, but it's because you chose to ignore your heritage. Anyway, I'm Dr. Dryasapa from Zion Law School. I will see y'all tomorrow around the same